Hey guys, welcome back. Today I will be sharing my second trimester recap. My oh my, the time is flying by. I am currently filming this when I am 30 weeks pregnant, so I'm already in my third trimester. Whew, it is getting so real, and baby girl will be here so soon. I'm so excited. But I definitely wanted to sit down and film a little recap for you. If you're new to my channel, I'm Bianca. I will be a first-time mom to a sweet, precious baby girl in April. I'm currently 30 weeks pregnant in my third trimester. If you missed it, or again, if you're new, I will leave the link to my first trimester recap in the description box below. Okay, going all the way back to the second trimester, starting at about 13 weeks. So we were back in October. It was like a little bit before Halloween. And I definitely was showing. I started showing really, really fast. But I absolutely loved it. I loved seeing my little baby bump. And now my little baby bump is a very big baby bump. Okay, so right at the 13, 14 week mark, I started to experience some round ligament pain, which definitely freaked me out. And at like the 14, 15 week mark, there was one day, it was on a Thursday, I was experiencing some round ligament pain, but I was also experiencing some like pelvic pain, like some severe, like almost like a pelvic like burning sensation. I'm not sure like the exact name of it, but when I was like looking it up, a lot of things were coming up for like pelvic girdle pain, and that was happening like really late at night. So the next morning I had called the doctor just like see if anybody could see me, because I am that person. This is my first pregnancy, so yes, I am that person. They ended up seeing me, and the doctor was just explaining how it's definitely normal for me to be experiencing the round ligament pain, and like they showed me this diagram of, you know, like the pelvis and the uterus, and how I think it's like there's some type of like chemical that was being released, and like if too much of the chemicals being released, you'll feel some like wobbly, like burning sensation. I feel like now that was such a long time ago that I don't remember all the medical terms that they were saying, but they calmed me. They let me know what I was experiencing. It's just absolutely normal. By the time I saw them, which was like the very next day, I wasn't having that pain anymore, and I haven't had like that type of like sensation since then, fingers crossed, because it was just really different, and it was a lot. And I went on to the app that I was using at the time, and there was like this like blog form that like people will write in, and it helps you feel less alone, you know, that other people are experiencing these same type of things. But it definitely can also be really scary when you're reading things that like people say like that pelvic girdle pain started and then like it never stopped, or they had it with their first baby and like it never went away. And I was like, oh my goodness. So I legitimately have not looked at that blog forum, like little Q&A, you can post anything you want. Have not looked at that since then, because it did freak me out. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, am I gonna feel like this like for the rest of my pregnancy? Am I gonna feel like this after the baby comes? So Mark was definitely like, stay away from whatever you're reading. And honestly, for my mental health, it is just good for me not to read, you know, some scary things out there, because you start Googling, just like with anything, if you feel like kind of sick or kind of achy and you start Googling it, before you know it, like you think you have something. So staying away from all of that. Okay, so that was happening like right early on in the second trimester, and then for a few weeks, like everything kind of just like stayed the same. It wasn't until December 4th when we found out baby girl's gender. So we had been waiting for the results. They were sent straight to my mom, and like she told me like the results are in, and I was like, oh my goodness, like this is real. Yeah, the results were sent to her on the 4th. She came over later that day, set everything up, and we did our gender reveal. Oh my goodness, just such a precious moment. If you missed that video, I will leave the link to that video in the description box as well. So that was early December, and then I just feel like everything kind of like just stayed the same. Shortly after that, I turned 20 weeks, and we had our, what do they call it, like the like full anatomy scan, and that was just, oh my goodness, a precious moment that I just love so much. And we hadn't seen the baby since I think like 8 weeks. So seeing like that little teeny tiny like gummy bear on the ultrasound at 8 weeks to seeing like just, oh my goodness, like how much she had grown by 20 weeks was incredible. Oh my goodness. Like the ultrasound, like her little like side profile, it was absolutely precious. But literally right at the 20-week mark, like the day or like that night, so I was like 19 weeks around midnight, like no joke, when I had literally like turned like the 20 weeks, I started to experience some different symptoms. And one of those being, I woke up to a Charlie horse. Scratch that. I woke up to a Charlie horse in both of my legs. Oh my goodness, like I literally woke up screaming and like Mark didn't know what was going on. I have never experienced a Charlie horse in my life, and to experience like two of them happening at the same time, just as like I woke up, was an experience, and it was traumatizing, and I was like, I don't ever want that to happen again. And that was like literally that day I was going in for the anatomy scan and a doctor's visit, so I got to explain that to her. And it's so crazy, on the app that day I had said like some symptoms that you could be experiencing were like calf pains, something about like the blood pressure change from like when you're laying down to like getting up, which I definitely experienced that day, and it has carried on. So whenever I get up in the morning or whenever I have to go use the potty at night, like I roll over, sit up, like let my feet dangle off the bed for a little bit before I get up, because I definitely feel like that shift. And I also started to experience the shortness of breath that comes with pregnancy, and I was like, what is going on? Like, I'm not even really doing anything. Why am I out of breath? I literally, like, I feel like every time I go in to see the doctor, I have like a little list where I'm like, I'm experiencing this, or what about this? Is this normal? And that was on my list of shortness of breath. And she was like, yep, that's to be expected. Another thing at the 20-week mark, that is whenever I feel like my belly, for sure, like my little bump was like popping out. Like baby girl was popping out at that point. And I remember like looking down at my feet and I was like, oh, I can still see my toes. And Mark like pulled my shoulders back and he was like, how about now? And I looked down and I was like, nope. So I definitely started to see a lot of growth in the bump area moving forward. Around the 21-week mark, which was like right before Christmas, I came down with another like severe sinus infection that I was just trying to like battle, and it was like really bad. To just like be sick in general is like tough on your body, but to be pregnant and not be able to take things, it was definitely tough. The weather was pretty cold down here. We had the heater on, so like the room was like really dry and it was like miserable to sleep. So Mark had went out and got a humidifier that like literally saved me. I slept with the humidifier probably for like maybe 5 or 6 days. It was definitely much needed. But one of the most amazing things about the second trimester was definitely getting my energy back. I felt like I could do it all, and I did start to experience a little bit more of like hip and back pain. So I couldn't do it all, but I felt like I could do it all. So Mom and Mark definitely had to like bring me down whenever I wanted to like go. But I honestly felt amazing. Now, of course, there were things that I definitely couldn't do anymore, like mop and sweep. Cannot do those things with like my back and hip pain, but just like having the extra energy, especially compared to like the first trimester, I would get out of work and want to come home and like I needed to take a nap. Like I was on the couch or on the bed, I would take a nap, and then Mark would come home and then I would go about the rest of my evening. I didn't need that nap so much when the second trimester hit. Like it was crazy. Oh, and like not to go back, but I feel like once I hit that 20-week mark, like all of the new stuff hit. I started to feel the baby more. I did feel her at like 18 weeks, like tiny little butterflies. But being pregnant for the first time, I was kind of like, oh, like, was that it? oh, like, I don't know. And then when the 20-week mark hit, I definitely knew, like, that's my baby. By 23, 24 weeks, she was kicking up a storm, and it is one of my most favorite things. It's just so comforting, and just, it fills my heart and my soul whenever I feel her moving. I love it. On the same note, there will be days where like I'm super, super busy and I'm like, oh my gosh, have I felt her yet? Have I felt her today? When was the last time she moved? So I just try to like remain calm and just know like, Bianca, you've been really busy. Just like take a second, don't freak out. And then really the only like big symptoms or changes from week 24 to week 28 were just a little bit more hip and back pain, and then I also started to experience some like pelvic pain. At night, I'm constantly up going to the restroom and then flipping from side to side, and one of the changes that I noticed the most were I wasn't necessarily having like just like specific hip pain anymore. It was really starting to be like more of a pelvic achy pain. I had ended up going to the doctor to just like get checked out just for peace of mind, because I was experiencing like shortness of breath. I did have that pelvic pain. I had a doctor's appointment coming up anyways, but that was on my list of things to talk to her about, how I was experiencing like the pelvic pain, just kind of achy and being so out of breath. Of course, they told me everything was fine and that I have a short torso. I definitely have a very short torso. So the doctor was just explaining how like my short torso, baby girl, has not a lot of room in there. So shortness of breath was to be expected. And as far as the pelvic pain goes, there's a lot of things growing and shifting and spreading. So here I have all of this energy, but I do have, you know, just some aches and pains. So I've really had to like zone it in and know my limits and really give my body the rest whenever I know that it needs it. But overall, I feel amazing. I feel so blessed. I am just soaking just every second of just every day up, like the feeling of like my little baby girl growing inside of me and kicking and moving, like literally brings tears to my eyes. I love her so much. I love going to every doctor's appointment to hear her little heartbeat. It is like the most precious thing. I cannot wait to just hold her in my arms. I can't wait for all of the baby snuggles. Like, I can wait. I definitely want to go full term, have a healthy, safe delivery. But y'all, my heart is just, I'm in love, and I love her so, so much. I want to thank each and every one of you who just watches my videos, especially watches these videos, because it's definitely something clearly different that I've never done on my channel before. Your sweet comments, your sweet DMs on Instagram. A lot of you have, you know, purchased things off of our baby registry, and I literally cannot explain to you like how thankful we are for your kindness. We truly appreciate each and every one of you. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video up. I hope you guys enjoyed hearing about my little second trimester recap. If you did, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Check out the description box below for any of the videos that I said I would link. They will be there. Don't forget to subscribe if you are not already subscribed. Hit that notification bell so that you won't miss my next upload. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye, guys.